Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bonus Points, or more specifically, Ellie's GOEs on YouTube. If you like this episode, please consider supporting us over on Patreon, where you can get the full episode in the junior and senior tier, as well as a bunch of other bonus stuff like access to our Discord and interview videos and other things like behind the scenes, all of that stuff. And also, please consider subscribing to all of our other social media sites because we never know when Twitter is going to explode, implode, whatever. It should be in the comment section, all of our other social media sites. And yeah, please like and subscribe if you like this video. And let's go. That was a terrible ending.
It works. It's good. It's good.
Okay.
So yeah, now to completely
Very
switch
different.
topics.
180.
Yeah. But to something, a bit more, maybe happier. I don't know. I don't know your reactions to this skate yet. It is time for Ellie's GOEs.
I really thought you should have used a different order of things. This is like from trigger warning to let me talk about this disco skate. So again, I do not know a lot about figure skating. I haven't followed it since maybe 2019. I have never heard of this person before. Please tell me which skate you picked and why.
I have picked Larry Lupulova's Boney M short program from this season.
First of all, amazing name. I saw that and I was like, I wrote down if the loop jump had a stage name, that would be it. Like, that would be the loop's stage name.
Would be so good.
Larry
New merch.
Larry has amazing hair. I'm so jealous of his hair. And also while watching this, I realized I would never ever give a bad score. I think I can only think of like one example.
Okay.
Sarah is thinking which one it could be. I would very confidently give Pluchenko a bad score for his sex bomb.
Oh, okay. That's not who I was going for, but I get it.
I mean, there might be skaters that have done unethical things, so I might be a bit swayed and ranks them a little bit lower because of that. But yeah,
is he like in that category for the sex bomb or for being Plushenko? Both.
both. No, I can't really. It's a sex bomb for me, I think.
There was a dance team that used a portion of sex bomb in their free dance a few years ago.
Also, we talked about this so much now. I will have to put up a picture of it.
Oh no, don't do that
into the YouTube.
People watching.
I'm so sorry, YouTube people. It's going to happen. I will share this with the world.
If we had to see it, so do you.
I think everybody saw it by now. I feel like at one point every skater fan has stumbled across it and it's like, no, what is this? What's going on? And I know it's supposed to be a funny program, but again, the reaction from the screaming women in the audience, it's just concerning. What did you drink back then? What was in your water? Okay, I'm so sorry, Larry. I will focus on your skate now. Again, I will never give a bad score. I know he's not like one of the highest ranking skaters. I know his technical elements are probably not. I don't know. I can't do score comparisons. But again, vibes only. This is vibes only. I was very surprised by the music because I saw the costume. I immediately went disco because of the disco ball. I saw that. And then it starts out with like birds and almost like white noise music. And I thought it was a very interesting choice because it was completely unexpected to me. But I will talk about the music a bit later at the music ranking part. And I know I'm being repetitive about arms, but arms are very important to me. And he does this so amazingly because he starts out with very soft arms in the beginning to this bird music and the forest music. And then he switches to very strong arms and very like strong movements, direct movies once the disco beat drops. And I think that really, really makes a skate because also from afar, that's a lot what you see. Yeah, so that was great performance-wise. And then there's the segment between the triple lutz, triple toe loop combo, toe loop combo, which I thought was supposed to be a quad. Yeah, it was supposed to be a quad. as
Yeah,
well.
he normally tries to stick a quad in, but I think at this
Mhm.
competition he was injured.
Yeah, I think it was mentioned in the commentary. And then the segment between that jump and the double axel was so much fun. It was very well choreographed. I thought it was a great transition from one jump to the next. And like the music beat drops and he does some amazing disco moves. And it's a disco program, so I think that has to be part of it. It might not be the most original, but it has to be a part of it. There are a few times where his facial expression is so on point and I love it so much. And then other times he's very concentrated and kind of loses it a bit, especially like in the setup of a jump or something, which is fair. I would look horrified the entire time. I would like, I'm gonna put, no, I can't. I want to put my face like, we will see if I put it up. But like, I would be screaming and be scared. I did a couple of skating classes. I have again no idea how these people move on the ice the way they do. You can tell that he's concentrating on the steps and like the setup. But every now and then it's like he's really getting into it and like a bit of expression, disco expressions coming through, which I very much enjoy. Um, the sparkle of his costume during the spin was amazing. The disco ball was really shining. And I love that because I think they used a bigger sequence on that one, and that worked very well. At first, I wasn't so sure whether the front and the back goes together because the front is in gold, and the back is in silver, and I'm like, would have liked that to be the same color or very colorful because it's disco. But then the more like less than a minute in, I was like, no, this works. This works very well. I like this. Um, Especially again, the disco ball is amazing as an element. There was a triple flip that he did, which was performed with so much ease. The landing was so soft. I was so happy for him. Um, I'm gonna put it up on the screen. I wish the camera, I don't know how you feel about it. I wish the camera would zoom in during the choreo step sequence or like doing any longer step sequence because I feel like the wide angle always loses something.
Yeah, I think that happened a bit at World Team Trophy as well. It was just it's very zoomed out, and I get them sort of skating towards the camera is
Mm-hmm.
like the goal. Um, but yeah, you'd think or hope that they'd like practice camera placements maybe. Um,
I always feel like also at World Championships, it never really feels like they highlight the team's skate as much as the national championships.
yeah.
In some countries, I guess, where the camera technique is better. But yeah, I think wide angle just you just lose something. I'm not a fan of wide angles, even if you see the movement across the eyes. But they can do that for like the repetition part at the end.
Yeah, yeah. You tend to get like the zooms, like
Mm-hmm.
really close ups in the review part.
Yeah. And I just wish, I don't know, maybe I want to see several angles. Like, I just want to see it from all sides. But yeah,
Yeah.
I wish this happens quite often where it's like a wide angle and I'm like, no, please zoom in more. I want to see
And
their
also
faces.
when it's like they're trying to keep up with the skater as well, it's very jarring to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. They should hire us. We should do the camera and the production.
Oh,
I'm
I
sure it's
wish.
super easy. Then I said, like, I mentioned the disco moves again because I think there was like a change in music from oh my God, what is it? It's like the funny song and the other one is
Sunny and happy song.
Sunny and Happy Song. There's a transition there, and he's going into disco beats, disco moves, and it's like fun. And I think the transition especially brought like kind of an element to it that I was missing because I wanted a beat to drop and like for the music to pick up again and give more energy. But yeah, he has a poker face on the entire time. It was a fun, energetic performance. I enjoyed watching.
I wanted to mention like his oh my God, I've forgotten the word. His like variety in skating. I've forgotten the
Mm-hmm.
actual word. So he went from like skating to Libertango to Can't Take My Eyes Off You to Juice World. This is that's yeah, he skated to Juice World and I was like, Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on you because I love different music in skating.
Hmm.
Um, when you have like three experiences in the same competition, it can get a bit annoying
Yes,
when
I
it's the
agree.
same piece of music. So when
Yes.
someone skates to Juice World, I'm like, thank you so much.
And I can tell that he's able to express the variety, that he's able to switch it up. Because even like in this piece, he was able to switch it up from like soft movements to like stronger disco moves. So he definitely has the abilities to do that.
So, on to rankings. On a scale of -5 to +5, what do you rate the music?
Okay, I have a lot of notes about the music. Because I would love to know the idea behind the music cut with the birds and like it's almost like white noise that people put on to relax. But then you have the underlying disco beats, and it's like for me, like again, I want to know the thought process behind it because for me it was like, oh, I'm relaxed, but something is coming, something is building up with the beats that are there, and also the costume kind of gave away that it was going to be a disco skate, but then it didn't start that way, which immediately grabbed my attention because it was very confusing. So yeah, I would like to know more about that. And then I'm not sure if it was my favorite disco music, like the pieces he picked. I think the music cut worked great. I think they did an excellent job. And I know like smaller federations don't always have money for all of that, and the skaters don't always have money for all of that. So I think they did a very impressive job to transition between all of these the music, and to have the beat work so well with that bird song. There was a lot of thought and effort put into it. I think maybe it's like the German in me, and or me being in a bubble and not knowing a lot of songs, but I wish they had picked a more popular song than the happy song from Bonnie M for the last part to emphasize that part. I don't. Did you know that song before?
No.
Yeah, I think there's a disco song where the crowd would have gone wild and be like yes, like almost like the disco Brits.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
what you mean.
there's I'm sure they would have found a song that would have really kicked in the last third of the program. But also sometimes I feel like listening to a song more and watching a performance more times really you start to appreciate the music a bit more. So I think I probably would have gotten more into it over time.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, so yeah, my score, I gave it a 3 out of 5. And even though I did not like the songs, which is perfect personal preference, I mean, all of this is personal preference. The reason for that is that I think the music cut was really well done. And also, it just grabbed my attention the way they started out with the classical birds. That was so random.
It was like never let them know your next move.
Never let them know your first move. I did not expect this.
It's just because I love that you go in knowing absolutely nothing about the skate. Like the
Yes.
skater, the music, nothing. And you're
And I
like,
see the disco costume and I'm like, well, this is disco. And then it's like, I can't whistle, but it's like birds. I'm gonna put some Creative Commons music over this and be like, birds, river. And that's how they start.
you just created more work for yourself.
I did. I love doing that.
Moving on to costumes on a scale of -5 to +5.
So here's the thing. I read the quote that we got from him at Europeans, I think.
Hmm.
I'm gonna read it out loud now. All of my programs, I like to put a theme behind it, a theme inside the program, the costume, the movements. We were thinking about Bonnie M and something more disco, and what is more disco than a disco ball and lots of shiny? He designs his costumes with help. And reading that quote just made me realize how much love and energy a lot of the skaters put into their costumes and into their routines, and how much time they commit. And so I do not want to be mean and criticize anything somebody else put their soul and heart into. Which wasn't the case here at all, but like it made me realize that the segment is quite judgmental of something people put time and energy into. Even though I haven't been judgmental at all about anything. I love the front of the costume. I love the all black with the gloves and like it works so well with the glitter. And like the glitter had this amazing flow and the movements and the patterns. It just looked amazing. I'm not the biggest fan of an illusion belt. I think either wear a real belt or I don't know, have the pattern flow into the pants or something, where it's almost like a one piece situation, which also works great for disco, I think. A one piece, like kind of ABBA vibe. So yeah, I don't know. The illusion belt wasn't my favorite. Um, and I wrote down I love the front and the back as separate pieces because I wrote this part before I watched the performance. And then mid performance, I'm like, nope, I like this. This works together. Even if the gems are different colors. And what I thought was really smart is how they placed the sequence around the disco ball to make it look like the disco ball was reflecting light. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a great idea. So yeah, I actually gave the costume 4 out of 5. This is very high.
Very good.
I just I'm so proud of him for like designing this costume, which is what I don't know. I just couldn't. I had to give it a 4 out of 5.
So
He had
over,
help, but sorry.
sorry.
No, he had help. He said he had help. So like whatever his team came up with and whatever he contributed, I love it.
So overall, what do you rate the skate?
Like it's so difficult now that I've seen a few and I know like the technical execution is very different to top skaters. Um, and of course that is noticeable at time, and it's noticeable that he's very concentrated and like the speed of the spins is a bit slower than other skaters. But yeah, luckily I do not have to judge those elements. I can go by vibes and Ellie's opinion only. And you can tell how much work and effort he puts into this and how with a lot of the smaller federations, they do not have a lot of funding to like really invest into the training the way that bigger federations have, except for Germany, apparently, which we learned in the news section. They don't give a shit. But different topic. But you can tell how talented he is at his core. And I really appreciate that. And I appreciate like small skaters, small federations. So I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. That's my final score.
That's still pretty good.
It is pretty good. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that's the lowest score I gave so far, 3.5 out of 5. I don't think I gave a 3 out of 5, did I? In
No.
overalls? No, I don't think so. And it will never happen. Maybe it will one
We'll
day.
have to wait and see.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. I think it was probably a smaller one than usually, but yeah, we mix it up every now and then. Um, Again, please like and subscribe, support us over on Patreon, follow us on all of our social media sites, which you can find in the comments, and have a wonderful day. Bye.